You ever open your bank app after a pretty good month and still feel broke? You didn't do anything wild, you didn't book a trip, you didn't buy a new TV, and somehow your checking account's acting like you did. That's usually not one big mistake. It's a bunch of little ones that feel normal because everyone around you's doing them. And once you're trying to build real wealth, the game changes. It's less about the obvious splurges and more about the quiet drains that keep recharging themselves. So here's what we're doing. First, we'll find the background charges you've stopped noticing, then we'll hit the big monthly payment traps that look harmless, and finally, we'll lock in a way to keep the savings without feeling like you turned into the fun police. And I want a number on the table right now. Plug a $250 monthly leak, and that's $3,000 a year. Invest it at a long-term 7% average, and that one leak can turn into roughly $150,000 over 20 years. Same you, different ending. Look, if you felt like you're bad with money, you're probably not. You're just paying for stuff you don't even like anymore, because small charges are easy to ignore when they're spread out and automated. Alright, let's start with the stuff that's basically running in the background, like apps draining your phone battery, the subscription graveyard, streaming, music, cloud storage, gaming passes, premium app you used once, and that gym you swear you'll go back to. A $9.99 here and a $14.99 there doesn't feel like much until you've got 8 of them, and now you're at $120 a month. That's $1,440 a year for nothing you'd fight to keep. This week, pull up your last 60 days of transactions and highlight every recurring charge. Then cancel anything you wouldn't rebuy today if it disappeared. Here's the common mistake. People cut the fun stuff they actually use, and they keep the invisible stuff because it's out of sight. Flip that. Keep 1 or 2 subscriptions you genuinely use weekly. Kill the rest, and if you truly miss one, bring it back. If you want a simple cap, try this. Keep your always-on subscriptions under $30 or $40 a month total. If you want something new, something else has to pause. You still get entertainment, but you don't accidentally fund 8 companies forever. Also, cancel free trials the same day you start them. Companies still let you use the trial until it ends, and you'll never get surprised by a $59.99 charge you forgot about. Now we move to convenience food, and I'm bundling it because it hits your wallet the same way. Delivery fees, service fees, tips, and the menu markups you don't notice. Order dinner twice a week, and if the extras average $12 each time, that's about $96 a month. In real life, it's often $150, which is $1,800 a year just for friction removal. And it stacks fast. Add to, I'll just grab something lunches at $14 each, and that's another $112 a month. Suddenly you're near $260 a month without ever feeling like you splurged. A better approach is to decide what convenience is actually for. If it's a true, we're slammed and everyone's cranky night, fine. If it's boredom plus an icon on your home screen, that's not hunger, that's habit. One trick that works without killing your vibe is having a default lazy meal. At home, that's faster than delivery. If your backup dinner takes 6 minutes, the app stops winning. Now let's hit spending that's literally just penalties, bank fees and overdrafts. One overdraft can be $30 or $35. Do that twice in a month and you just handed your bank $70. Over a year, once in a while, overdrafts can quietly turn into $300 to $500. Then there's the slow leak, out-of-network ATM fees. Pay $3 from your bank and $3 from the ATM owner a couple times a month, and it's another $10 to $20 you didn't get anything for. It's not a character flaw, it's a system problem. Keep a tiny buffer in checking, like $200, and pretend it's not yours. Set low balance alerts, and if your bank's charging you monthly maintenance fees, switch. Right next to bank fees is annual fee VIP stuff you don't actually redeem. Credit cards with $95, $250, even $695 in annual fees, plus memberships that promise perks you never use. If you pay $250 and you use $40 of benefits, you didn't save money. You bought a fantasy version of yourself. Here's the clean break-even test. If you're paying $95 a year, you need to get more than $95 in value with stuff you would have bought anyway, not maybe I'll travel one day. Real value, already used. If you love perks, make them earn their keep. If the value isn't obvious on your statement monthly, it's probably not real. Another drain that feels normal is carrying balances and easy payment plans. Credit card interest at 20% isn't a small fee, it's a tax on your future. Owe $5,000 at 20% and you're paying about $1,000 a year in interest if you stay around that balance. and minimum. Payments are how people stay stuck. If you pay $125 a month on a $5,000 balance at 20%, a huge chunk of that payment is interest at the start. Throwing even $75 extra per month can cut the payoff time dramatically, and you feel the pressure come off way faster than you'd expect. Buy now, pay later can be sneakier because it feels harmless, like it's not debt. But the label doesn't matter. Stack enough little payments and your paycheck's already spoken for before it hits, and now you're back to overdrafts and fees again. The better move is boring, but powerful. Pick one target balance and crush it while you keep everything else steady. If you can throw an extra $200 a month at high-interest debt, that's $2,400 a year of principal you're actually removing, plus the interest you're no longer feeding. And yeah, some months are going to be messy, and that's normal. Let's talk about spending that gets sold as responsible. Extended warranties and protection plans. The $199 plan on a $799 gadget. The extra coverage on earbuds. The tire and wheel package. These are priced so the company wins on average, which means you lose on average. If you've got even a modest emergency fund, you can self-insure a lot of this. Instead of $15 a month to protect your phone, put $15 a month into a stuff breaks fund. In a year, you've got $180. If nothing breaks, you kept your money. And if something does break, you're paying from your own fund, not paying premiums forever, hoping you get lucky and need a repair. Next, storage units. Paying $120, $160, or $220 a month to store things you don't use is basically paying rent for clutter. Even a cheap $150 unit is $1,800 a year. 5 years goes by and you've paid $9,000 to avoid making decisions about old furniture and boxes of maybe someday. Storage units usually start after a move or a life change, and they feel temporary. Then life gets busy and the unit becomes permanent. If you've got one, set a deadline because later turns into years fast. If the thought of sorting it all makes you tired, give yourself permission to be ruthless. Sell the one or two valuable things, donate what's fine, toss what's junk, and buy your time back. Now we're into the monthly payment traps that feel harmless because they're normalized. The first one is upgrading your phone and tech on payments. A $1,000 phone doesn't feel like $1,000 when it's only $41 a month. Add a watch, earbuds, and insurance, and it's easy to be at $80 to $120 a month for pocket. Electronics. Here's the quick comparison. Upgrade every 2 years at $45 a month, and you're basically locking yourself into a permanent tech bill. Stretch to 4 years, and even if you buy a nicer phone when you do upgrade, your average monthly cost drops a lot. If you love tech, keep tech. Just stop paying the upgrade tax. Stretch upgrade cycles. Buy last year's model. Replace when it's actually annoying, not when marketing tells you to feel behind. Now the big one, the car payment. I'm not anti-car, I'm anti-forever payment. Here's what happens. Someone's making decent money. They've got a $420 payment. Then they trade in early because they want the new model. The dealer rolls negative equity into the next loan. Now it's $580. Add the warranty and the protection package and suddenly it's $670. They tell themselves it's fine because it fits the budget while they're investing stays stuck at $300 a month. The difference between a $650 payment and a $350 payment is $300 a month. Over a year, that's $3,600. Over 5 years, that's $18,000, and that's before you count higher insurance and fees on a more expensive car. Invest that $300 a month at 7% for 20 years, and you're looking at around $155,000. That's the opportunity cost of turning a car into a lifestyle statement. Sometimes the biggest win isn't changing cars today, it's making a rule that your next car has to lower your payment, not raise it. That rule alone keeps people from the "I always have a payment" trap. You don't need to drive a beater forever. You just need to stop turning car into a subscription. Pay it off and keep it, or buy the car you can afford to keep after it's paid off, not the one you can barely handle while you're still paying for it. Now, the brand tax on basics. Name brand medication when the generic has the same active ingredient. Name brand cleaning supplies. Name brand shampoo. If you pay an extra $3 here and $4 there across a cart, you can easily burn $25 to $50 a month on logos. Even switching half your cart to store brands can be $15 to $25 a month back in your pocket, and you'll barely notice it after a week. Last on the list is impulse online shopping, not the big planned purchase. I mean the $18 deal in a targeted ad, the late night scroll, the "I'll return it if it doesn't fit" pile that never gets returned. If you do 2 $40 impulse orders a week, that's $80 a week, about $320 a month, almost $4,000 a year for random stuff that usually doesn't stick. And the returns are part of the trap. You tell yourself it's risk-free, then the return window closes, or you don't want to deal with it, and now it's just more stuff you didn't need. This is where people mess up again. They try to solve it with willpower. Willpower is a terrible long-term plan. You need friction. Remove saved cards, unsubscribe from promo emails, make buying slightly annoying, and you'll buy less without feeling like you're fighting yourself. This week, pick your biggest impulse spend app and make one friction move. Remove your saved payment method or delete the app so buying takes effort. All right, you've got the 10 categories. The part that matters is what you do with the money you free up, because if you don't give it a job, it'll wander right back out of your life. Think of it like a scorecard. If a spending category is recurring, financed, or fee-based, it's guilty until proven innocent. Recurring means it charges you again without asking. Financed means turns today's want into tomorrow's obligation. Fee-based means you're paying for nothing. Cutting those doesn't even feel like sacrifice most of the time because you weren't getting real joy anyway. Then you've got the maybe categories, brand tax and impulse stuff. Those aren't evil, they just need guardrails. You can still buy name brand things sometimes. You can still buy random stuff sometimes. But the default can't be whatever the internet served me today. Let's run one clean example so you can feel how fast this stacks. Say you cancel $60 of subscriptions. You cut convenience food by $160 a month. You stop paying $35 in random bank fees, and you stretch your phone upgrades enough to save $40 a month. That's $295 a month. That's $3,540 a year, and you didn't touch your rent, your childcare, or your social life. If you invested the $295 a month at 7% for 15 years, you're in the ballpark of $90,000. Push it to 25 years and it's well over $200,000. That's one set of habits turning into a real chunk of wealth. Now imagine you automate that money into investing or debt payoff. If you're paying 20% interest, paying it down is like earning a guaranteed 20% return. If you're investing long-term, you're building an asset that grows. Either way, you're finally using cash flow to buy options. This is the game-changed moment. Early on, people obsess over tiny choices. Later on, the big wins are defaults. You don't need perfection. You need the expensive options to be a little harder and the smart options to be automatic. Here's a quick mental filter for future purchases. If it repeats monthly and you'd feel no pain if it vanished, cut it. If it repeats monthly and you'd miss it, keep it, but cap it. If it's financed and it's not making you money, pay it off faster or don't do it again. If it's a fee, treat it like an emergency and eliminate the cause. Now, I want to circle back to car and tech payments because those two are where people accidentally build a life that feels expensive, even with a good income. Monthly payments steal your flexibility. If you've got $1,500 of payments before you even buy groceries, you can't pivot. You can't handle a surprise bill without using a card. That's why payments are so toxic. A reliable car is the goal. The mistake is paying a premium for reliability when a slightly older reliable car would do the same job. Same with phones. You don't need the newest chip in your pocket to live a good life. You need a phone that works. The upgrade treadmill is designed to make works feel like embarrassing. Don't buy that story. Now make it practical without turning it into a punishment plan. You're not trying to become the cheapest person alive. You're trying to buy back cash flow, and cash flow is what lets you invest, pay down debt, and breathe. So set a simple boundary for each category. Subscriptions are used weekly or they're paused. Convenience food gets planned yes nights instead of autopilot, and you keep an at-home backup that's faster than delivery. Fees disappear because you've got a buffer and alerts. Annual fee perks only stay if the value shows up on your statement. Interest and payment plans don't stack. You attack the balance. Warranties become a small self-insurance fund. Storage gets a deadline with a real calendar date attached. Tech upgrades get stretched. Cars get aimed at payment-free, and impulse shopping gets friction plus a 48-hour wait for anything non-essential. That 48-hour rule is brutal in the best way, because most impulses don't survive a weekend. Most wants don't make it past 2 nights of sleep, and that's a gift, honestly. Now, money changes when life changes. You might be in a season where convenience is keeping your household sane. That's real. The goal isn't to eliminate every cost. The goal is to pay for relief on purpose, not pay for relief by accident. So start where the pain to effort ratio is best. Subscription graveyard is low effort. Fees are low effort. Impulse friction is low effort. Convenience food is medium effort. Cars and phones are higher effort, but they're also the biggest wins when you tackle them. And when you cut something, replace it with a cheaper default that still feels good. If delivery's your stress release, have a lazy dinner option at home that's actually easy. Frozen meals, rotisserie chicken, bagged salad, whatever works. The point is to beat the app, not prove you can cook like a chef. If online shopping's your dopamine, give yourself a controlled version. Set one monthly fun money amount, like $50 or $100, and let yourself spend it guilt-free. When it's capped, it's not a leak. When it's unlimited, it becomes a habit. People think saving money is about being strict. It's usually about being clear. Clarity beats willpower. Now, the trap after you cut these 10 things is rewarding yourself with a bigger monthly bill. New car, new apartment, new payment, and suddenly you're right back to zero progress, just with nicer stuff. Try this instead. For every dollar you stop spending, split it. Half goes to your future automatically. Half can upgrade your life in a way you'll actually feel. That keeps you from rebelling against your own plan. Say these changes free up $400 a month for you. Send $200 straight to investing or debt payoff. Keep $200 for experiences you genuinely care about. Over a year, you've moved $2,400 toward your future and you've still improved your life. Make your future half happen first, right after payday, because what's left over at the end of the month usually isn't. Now let's make it even simpler with 2 questions you can ask anytime you're about to spend. Will I still be happy I bought this in 48 hours? Does this purchase reduce a future obligation or add one? Most people aren't stuck because they bought one expensive thing. They're stuck because they've got 10 obligations stacked on top of each other, and each one feels small by itself. This week, take the money you freed up from the cancellations and set an automatic transfer the day after payday, even if it's only $50, so the new default sticks. After you clean up these 10 categories, you'll probably still spend money. You'll just spend it with less regret. You'll buy fewer things, but you'll like them more. You'll say yes to stuff that matters, and no to stuff that only exists because an app made it easy. Here's the recap to keep in your head the next time a charge hits your card. Kill subscriptions you don't actively use. Treat convenience food like a tool, not a routine. Stop paying bank fees and annual fee perks you don't redeem. Get aggressive with high interest balances and avoid stacking payment plans. Skip most protection plans and self-insure. Don't rent storage for years. Stretch tech upgrades. Get out of the forever car payment. Buy generics on basics. Add friction to impulse shopping. You don't need a perfect budget, you need fewer leaks and fewer obligations. Modern spending's designed to be effortless, and effortless gets expensive. Keep your life good, keep your money intentional, and you'll be shocked how fast your cash flow opens up. Next time, I'll show you how to set a rich person budget that still lets you enjoy your life without the guilt. Subscribe if you want more money moves that actually work.